So we have a podcast. That's a thing.
Yeah, podcast's a thing.
Yes.
Apparently.
Cool. Right,
Oh, yeah.
glad we clarified that. We can stop the video now.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yes. Just hit play.
No, this was already going, so...
That was his start.
Oh, that was his start.
Ruined.
No, we're running with this one. No,
Yeah, we're running with it. Right.
For the 20th fucking time. Excuse me.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, so we are talking about the new trial decks and what's been revealed so far from the Miyaji fucking big Academy pack thing. What's the fuck it called?
Miyaji Academy Plaque.
Yeah.
Ignore the man dying to my left.
This is an online format, Dave. They don't have a concept of space.
I'm aware, but they might have a directional input.
No.
It does do surround. So fucking omnidirectional microphones are great.
We're not being paid to advertise this content.
So,
Right.
I'm assuming we're going to be starting with the trial decks.
Yeah, let's get my backing
So-
material out the way.
Yes.
Trial deck
Or
5.
think tank, because we want to get this over with.
We've picked a couple of cards from the booster, not booster, the trial deck, which are quite of important. Could see a lot of play.
Could see.
Could see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Probably already have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being proxied into decks to try out.
I'm just happy because it's supporting my favourite subclan. Yay!
On that note, let's talk about hexagonal mages.
Woo!
The direct upgrade for the break ride.
Yep, 100% upgrade. Love it.
Yeah. So it is a 12k grade 3, so it's got twin drive, obviously. Has text icon. And oh my god, Luke, shut the hell up.
I'm trying. It's your
2
fucking
skills.
fault.
Both are on Vanguard, with the second also being on Rearguard. First one is when place cost, counterblast 1, look at 2 cards from the deck, put them on top of your deck in any order, and draw a card. That's an ongoing feature for Magus. Lots of draw power.
That's
Yeah.
oddly familiar to
It is-
some previous cards.
Yeah, that one is a almost direct upgrade from the break ride.
Yeah.
It has a cost now, other than obviously the break ride, but
But you can also get a protect marker.
so it's
Exactly.
a +2 cards instead of a +1 card, and you still get to stack the top of your deck.
Exactly.
Not
Great.
only that, but it's more Gyze support than anything else.
I mean, it is that, but it is also it
says
it functions.
maniacally evil grin on his face.
Yeah, it's Gyze support. It functions with everything else that OTT wants to do, and it functions with exactly what Magus wants to do.
Mm.
So it fills in all 3 boxes that Hexagonal Magus needed to fill in. The second
Yes,
skill,
other skill.
But which is Vanguard and Rearguard. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit, this unit gains power plus 5k until end of turn.
and
Which
also,
is hilarious because it means you do actually get trigger power in Gyze
Yep.
deck.
but it's old trigger power. It's still trigger power, but like it's old trigger power.
To be fair, you don't want lots of power when you're in Gyze because you don't want to give them damage.
No.
But for normal oracles, this is
Mhm.
really, really hard as well.
Yes,
You can
this
assign your
is the
trigger
main
powers
break.
and still manage to get those hits.
Hmm.
And the fact it's a trial deck card is
See.
even better.
I know,
You think
and
in
it,
a standard oracle deck, in an oracle deck that's not running Gyze,
Mhm.
that turns a whereas they normally say, "Oh, 10k would be a one." Well, I'm getting 15k on a trigger hit, so have fun with that.
Yeah, that 5k to pass, which would normally be a whole trigger power, is now okay. Now I can give that 10k to the rear guard, and the vanguard will get 5k anyway.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
because
I have a lot
it
of conversations
is
with that.
because it's if it's in standard and you're putting grade 3s on the rear guard. Oh, I can put a trigger to the rear guard, and he gets an additional 5k,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So triggers become 15k in
Yeah.
theory with her,
which is nuts.
which is fantastic. Yeah. So I think 5 out of 5. This card's going to be run majority of the time in premium
I
and
can-
in standard.
Guarantee
Yeah.
you're going to see it from me.
Especially since it's available in a trial deck, just
Yeah, I'm
immediately.
That's the
I'm,
icing
I'm
on
saying
the
it now. I'm
That
picking
is
up a copy of this
cool.
trial deck.
4 of them in the trial deck as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Indeed.
4 of them in the
looking
trial
at that
deck.
trial deck list, I
So-
really didn't need to order 2.
Well, lozenge makers, but then that's the
Does someone
starter.
want
So
to
yeah,
buy a trial deck off me?
Yes.
Oh, there you go, James. does.
We'll sort something out, but I'll
Cool.
take the one that has the hot print.
Sure.
How are you going to know that until you open them both?
No, that's fine because I'll probably open it when I get back, and we'll just trade the trial decks. It's fine. If he wants the one with the hot print, he gets the one with the hot print. That's fine. I just want all of the Magus cards. I don't even care about the others. I just want the Magus and the trigger lineup. But moving on, Hexagonal Magus, amazing card. It's gone dead. Moving
Can I
on.
do the Battle Sister?
Next one.
Can I?
Yes. As the only Battle Sisters player, you can do it.
So it's a grade 2 with Intercept. It has no shield value, but it's a 12k vanilla.
Why does it need Intercept then?
Well, because
you can still put it there.
And
It's a standard symbol for grade 2.
All grade 2s have intercept.
I know, I was just memeing.
yeah, I know.
I know, you were
it's
trying
treated
to,
as
but it
having a
failed.
0k. So
Yeah, I'm sure
But
later
this
on
card is fantastic.
they'll probably get given a card later on that gives power to just units in the G circle in general. At that point, Intercept with 0 shield values will be good.
Yeah.
You know, this is great defensively on the opponent's turn, but great offensively on your turn. So can't say much more about that, can you?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a solid turn 2 ride.
Yeah, and it also
That-
makes me wonder: is it just going to be Protect that gets this, or is it every clan?
It's a very good point.
If
I reckon-
Excel gets a
Yeah,
card
yeah,
like this, it'll be
yeah.
nuts.
well, Excel
Yes.
got 9k grade 1s with no shield, so
Yeah, true.
If Excel do get this, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. A grade 2 22k swinger on an Excel circle, of which is a 12k defense. Right.
It's a solid card.
Yeah. But obviously, Oracles is a Protect clan, as they should be, not an Excel clan, so it is all speculation.
skills versus power is always the eternal toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Oracle maintained with such a massive hand, the fact that you're losing a little bit of shield, which was only 5k normally, is a really good trade-off for such a big unit.
Yeah.
Especially in a clan where you're getting Protect markers anyway.
Yeah,
So-
Exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of protect markers are there.
Yeah, well, Protect wants to continue to rewrite, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say
Anyway,
that's a solid
moving
4 out
right
of 5.
along.
Moving along, we have Rectangle Magus,
Rectangle.
which is a direct upgrade from both Stellar Magus and Rhombus Magus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much. So it's a grade 2, 9k, 5k shield, intercept, yada yada yada. Skills are both rear circle, so auto when placed on rear circle, counter blast 1, soul blast 1, look at 2 cards from top of your deck, put them on top of your deck in any order, and there it is again, draw a card.
Yep.
There's the Stellar Magus part, and the
Yeah,
Rhombus
It's
Magus
basically
part.
hexagonal. It's hexagonal.
I know, no,
First
but
skill.
because
With
it's
a
a
bit more
direct
cost.
upgrade from both Stellar and Rhombus, that's the Stellar upgrade, where you get to pick what goes into your hand. And then Rigard, when you trigger a drive check reveals a trigger unit, it gets 5k. That's the Rhombus part. You don't even have to remember what's on the top, because you just drive check it.
And that's not once a turn
I
either.
would argue slightly differently. It reminds me a lot of Imperial Daughter's skill. Because her skills are essentially the same thing, but it's worded kind of differently.
It's hexagonal Magus, but in a grade 2.
It
That's
is
it.
directly Hexagonal Magus in a grade 2, I think. Apart from maybe the Soul
All but
Blast.
it's-
Yeah.
yeah, it's just got bigger
Perfect.
cost.
The only
And-
way it could be any better is if the first skill was Vanguard Rearguard. But aside from that,
I would say it's a sort of 4 out of 5.
Plus, it's a Rhombus Magus that can get more than 5k on the turn. Because if you drive check 2 triggers, or 5, then
Yeah.
Stop spoiling things, James.
come on, at this point, everybody knows. Everybody has seen the card and gone, what in the actual fuck?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
this card's
much,
pretty.
but
This
only
card's
off the
massive.
top of it. Pentagonal.
Want me just?
Queen Drive.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this card is really, really good. It fits really, really well in Standard. It fits really, really well in... It fits really well in every OTT build.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Apart
Mm.
from...
As long as you're not relying on a particular name.
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't
apart
really
from
fit
Battle
that
Sisters,
well
where you have
into-
to have the Battle Sisters name.
Yeah.
Second card, you draw a card. Oh, and then
Yeah,
Trigger.
it does, again, it does
Anything
everything
with-
that
Definitely
Oracle and Magus want to do.
It's
yeah,
going to change how Gyze works.
yeah.
I mean,
You could just throw
You
Gyze into a
can
Magus
work.
standard deck.
Work in Gyze, but you don't want power from your drive checks because you're trying not to give your opponents damage.
Yeah,
You
you don't
don't-
have to attack with them. You
Even
can just keep them on
still-
the rear guard and play their on-play skills.
It's more on place, check the top card.
Oh,
No,
you
it's
could
stack
do
the
trigger,
triggers.
brilliant. That's Gyze. Yeah.
But
Oh look,
you
Gyze
can
is
do
now
exactly the
Wassup.
same thing with Yellow Witch Meme. You can do exactly the same thing with Weather Girl Shake. With
Yeah,
the
but
now
Great
you can do it with this as
Balance
well.
Coco.
Yeah, but this is a 9k body rather than 7k body. Gets you an extra draw, so it's more cards to guard with.
So are the grade 2s I just mentioned.
Are they? I thought they're grade 1.
No, they're both
No,
grade 2s. I've been slaughtered
Oh,
by them
okay.
a lot recently. They're both grade 2s.
And the Shake are both grade 2.
Yeah, but they just let you look at the top card and then I'd put it on the top or bottom. This nets you a draw as well and
It sets the top card of your deck.
Yeah. So if you have a
It's the
trigger and a
same thing,
non-trigger,
but you don't put it into
High cost though as well.
It is a
Yeah.
higher cost, but most of the time you're playing against have counterblasts to waste.
Yeah, it's true. It's I'm a bit iffy on it.
I think we want to have to wait and see how it'll
Yeah.
play first.
yeah.
Anyway,
Uh, then-
moving on.
Moving further on to more Magus support.
Curie.
Gory Magus!
Who
The one
was
that everyone's
originally
gonna
the
screw with the
old-fashioned
pronunciation.
12K swinger.
Or as you could refer to her, core.
Oh my god.
Nah, the artwork's not that great.
Oh, the artwork's good. I like the artwork.
Meh.
That's skilled.
Is
Vanguard
surprisingly
Yeah, she's an 8k grade 1. Auto Vanguard Rearguard when placed 2 cards from top of your deck, and then put them on top of your deck in any order. So it's exactly the same as the past 2 without the draw.
But then
And
you're
no
riding on
second
top of
skill.
Lozenge Magus, so you get the draw anyway.
nets you the draw.
Yeah.
So you basically look at the top 2. Which one do you want in hand? You draw a card.
It's
That's
better
basically
Farfel.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But it's also a
and this
better
one works
circle.
on Vanguard, which is better than the Stella.
I
But the thing is, also, original Circle Magus was pretty meh. This just is a 100% upgrade. The fact you
Well,
can run
Farfel
and
was
get
an
together.
upgrade from Circle, and this is an upgrade from Farfel.
Yeah,
So
exactly. They're great.
again,
Like, this
it's
card's
going
great.
straight in. So far, all the cards we've mentioned that are Magus are going in my Magus deck.
Yeah, so
Unsurprisingly.
I think that card's a good solid 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 cards. It's
Yeah.
going to be used all the time, I think. Even in Gyze, I think potentially it could be used because it can set
Yeah,
up the
that
top
one I
2
think
cards.
definitely will.
That might replace some of the grade 1s. I'm not totally sure, but it's really good though.
I
It's also
don't
worth
think
10k
so,
shield.
to be honest.
It's better than
I was going to replace. It's going to replace the Battle Sister, the one that says
Yeah.
on place. Look at the top card, put the top or bottom. This one looks at the top 2 and puts them both on top how you like. Oh, let me draw a card.
I
do
I
this.
think it should be replacing Coco because it's also an 8k as opposed to the 6k
It
which
also-
Coco is.
No, that doesn't matter, James, because you, as I said, you don't want to give your opponent damage.
Defense.
Coco is grade 1. It's a 6k Vanguard. They've got any 6k. That's fine. You swing at them. They're not going to take any damage. You're sat there lying.
And they swing at you and you take damage.
Yes.
And
Defensively, it's just a better card because it's look at the top 2.
not for Gyze, mate.
No,
Not
I'll
for
agree with
Gyze.
Luke on that point, certainly. For a Gyze deck, you want the lower numbers earlier on, purely so you're not hitting your opponent when you swing.
Okay.
Didn't you notice in the games we played that
When you
I
just
wasn't damaging you?
except
for
you
a
were.
reason?
Except you were. You were swinging at me
Right.
hard early.
Let's get off that.
Anyway,
Let's go off that and go on to the next card.
next card, and actually out of the 5 that we're talking about, it's the one that I'm most iffy of. And oh my god,
Oh no, I like this.
yeah, that artwork.
This is good.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the original. Pretty good, ain't it?
So this used to be the 10k swinger for grade 1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Ripples Magus, which is grade 1, 8k. Auto rear circle only. When it boosts, if you have a Vanguard with Magus card name, this unit gets plus 5k until end of that.
So it's a 13k booster.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Upgrade
It hits nice big numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just.
Pretty
probably
good,
upgrade.
pretty solid.
Ugh.
But
Magus
you
always
have
have
room
big
for
numbers.
numbers.
I think they have better grade 1s. That's the thing.
I agree, but I think this card should be definitely considered because without it, you're not going to be hitting the numbers
It's
you
a
want.
viable option.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's
a
not, I think this card.
You probably wouldn't run 4 of them.
No, I think
No.
I'm looking
This-
at 2 or 3 most.
this
Yeah, 2 or
card for
3.
me is what the old argument between Octagon Magus and Cone Magus was.
Yes.
where okay, me and Dave both run Magus decks, except our decks have two distinct differences. He runs Ring Magus, and I run Cone Magus. So for me, this is the one that I'm not going to be running.
Which is totally understandable if you need a other shield value or if you need a different.
because I think I'm going to be running Tetra in place of this. But obviously, if I'm getting the trial deck, I'm going to have them anyway, so I'm going to play around with it. It's a good card on its own, but it does have a niche place as opposed to generally it's good in everything.
Yeah.
I would definitely.
Yeah.
I as a player, I would play at least 2 or 3 of this simply because I know Magus don't hit those numbers that decks need to nowadays. And that's my reasoning behind it.
I probably agree with you on that one. I probably run like 2, maybe. I think. I don't think I go to the 3 or the 4, but a couple at least, just to if you need to.
Magus always missed out on power, whereas this now gives it.
That
What?
and their own effects to get trigger power.
Yeah, I was going to say, what hexagonal
Give trigger power.
and rectangle don't help with the numbers?
Not enough, especially with new shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's Trial Deck 5 covered.
Yeah,
Yes.
really good trial deck. Like overall,
yeah.
it's a really good buy. If you like
Really,
OTT.
really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's great out the box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Much-
it's a fantastic trial deck to
I
get.
realised that it only actually give you 3 of the Rippus Mages in the trial deck.
Really?
It's perfect. They
Wow.
give you the
Yeah.
amount you need.
And they only give you 3 of the Battle System Orange Jet as well.
Yeah, so
Well,
they probably give you the 3 of the cards that you're only going to be running 3 of.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would be running 4 Rippus, to be fair.
I don't think anybody's
And
going
if
to be
you
running
do want to
3.
fill, you can get one easy.
Yeah, it's a nice common card. So
Exactly.
Alright, so
Right,
then
moving on
on
to
to yeah,
Narukami.
another clan. These 2 trial decks have been clans that I like, but
I spent so much time looking at the cards.
we've gone dead again. So
Okay.
So
Right.
cool. I'll go over this one.
yeah,
Great Composure Dragon for Narukami.
Yeah.
So it's a grade 3 twin drive with the Excel marker. It's a 12k base, and its skill is at the beginning of your opponent's battle phase, your opponent's battle phase. Yeah, this unit gets 3k until the end of your turn for each open rear guard in the opponent's front row, and if it's your turn, it gets 5k instead of 3. So defensive and offensive power in 1.
offensively, fair frickin' enough. Defensively, what in the actual shit? Like,
What do you mean by defensively?
right, so offensively, if assuming it is not an Excel clan, just a standard, you've managed to clear down their board. Plus 25k. Fair enough, you've been rewarded for playing your deck right. Defensively, they've had a bad turn, they've not been able to call anything, plus 15k.
But
Well,
it's
it'd be
not
plus
plus
6.
15K. Well, no, it's plus 6.
Because 2 open
Is it
rear
from-
guard
is it-
circles. It's
Oh, it
3k
does
for
say in
each
your front
open
row.
rear guard.
Oh, okay, it's in your
It's
front row. I thought it was just in general,
That'd be
which would have been
busted.
frickin' broken. Okay,
Oh, God, yeah.
less
But no.
bullshit. Less
So-
bullshit.
Yeah, it makes it an 18k.
Yeah, okay, that's...
It's a non-Excel.
Defensively, that's great.
It takes me about 4 times to read through the card and actually understand what it is. But no,
Yeah,
okay.
we realise
So
that. Yeah, we realise that. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually,
this
no,
has
that's...
nothing to do with binding. That's
Ye-
the biggest problem I have.
Yeah, but I think the point is that everything else is supposed to have bound, and, oh, now you've got the open rearguard circles, here's the extra 10k.
Oh, I'm not going to argue that the card's good. It's just I wish they had an extra on place
I mean,
pay
I'd say
a cost and retire.
it's definitely a backup grade 3 that will probably be replaced once Narukami gets support. But I'd say
yeah.
for now, for the first release, it's not a bad card.
Not at all. No, not for a trial deck.
Yeah,
For a trial
exactly.
deck, it looks
that's
good.
The other thing, Chris,
Yeah.
You say that hexagonal Magus. But anyway,
Can
I
I
know.
just make a quick point about Narukami? But now, a lot of the new Narukami skills say bind that unit, or
Yeah.
when it's removed from rear guard to the bind circle, get power. That doesn't work with the old stuff, which is retire bind, because it's now in the drop zone and then gets banned from the drop. So lots of new Narukami stuff doesn't work with Vanquisher.
Or actually Eradicator, because that's all retiring as well.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck about Eradicator?
Well,
Exactly.
it's just point being, it doesn't work with the old subclans.
No.
Retire
As long as I
bind
can
doesn't
combine
work
my
because it's
own
bound
cards,
from. It works with Thunderstrike
Chris.
because,
What?
It works with
Mean.
Thunderstrike.
which I think
No,
is
no,
what they were
James-
trying to go with. Like it
No,
worked.
the problem with it, James, is that most of the stuff is retire bind, and all the new stuff don't proc off of it and get power.
But that's the thing, they're not trying to go with Thunderstrike, are they?
Well, no,
Well, it
I-
is blind, which is
They are
Thunderstrike.
actively
Yeah,
trying to do away with.
yeah, no, they're getting rid of the keywords, but it's
But binding is still
synergizing with the
promoting
Thunderstrike
Thunderstrike.
cards naturally. So, because Thunderstrike is number of bound cards, it's nothing on when it's bound from drop zone, when it's bound from field, when it's bound from Guardian Circle or from hand or whatnot. It's just
True.
number
Whilst
of
they're
bound
not
cards.
trying to use the keywords or give any more support for the keyword. The keywords are built around what the decks are meant to do, so it will naturally support them in some way or another.
Hopefully.
I think Harry's point is it doesn't work with the old cards because of the way that they play. However, it does work with perhaps what they were trying to intend the deck to do, which is have stuff in the bind zone.
I think we're getting a bit caught up on the
Yes.
finer details here.
Yeah.
So let's move
On to the
swiftly
next
on,
card.
Yeah, Thunderstorm
Thunderstorm
Dragoon.
which I'll take us through that. So yeah, Thunderstorm Dragoon, grade 2, 5k shield, 9,000 power, pretty standard. Continuous rear guard circle. During your turn, if your opponent has one or less rear guards in the front row, gets plus 5k. Now, it's a pretty standard card. It follows along the lines of, is it Bellicosity? That if your opponent has 3 or less rear guards, it gets plus 5,000 power.
Yeah.
It's
I
a-
think so.
a pretty standard card for a trial deck. For
Mm-hmm.
a
For
really
a trial
pretty-
deck, Bellicosity was
Yeah.
in the booster pack, and it's a double
Yeah.
rare, isn't it? Triple rare?
No, you're thinking Berserk Dragon.
No, velocities, every
yes.
time a unit's retired, it gets 5k.
Which one am I thinking? Oh no, I'm thinking
Oh,
Dragon
I
Empire.
know which
Is it?
yeah, you're drinking Dragon.
I know the card I'm on about. It's not Bellicosity. It's the other one.
It's another Kagura unit, which gains power when there are less rear guards on your
That's-
opponent's side of the field
Yeah.
for a very similar effect. It's
Yeah, and it's a 10k base because it's from the trial deck.
Yeah.
I know which one.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a downgrade from Great Composure. It's your turn only. You only get it once. So it's
do you mean?
following along the same lines as what Great Composure Dragon was doing. It's just a much weaker version.
Yeah, it's like the Oracle one where they had hexagonal, then they had
Rectangle.
which is the downgrade version. They've done the same thing here.
Except this downgrade version is a lot more of a downgrade.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the original version was okay vanilla. So let's be honest. Who was expecting a huge amount from this card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that answers that question.
Yeah.
Moving right along then.
Recklessness Dragon.
Oh, let me just close the tab. There you go. Right. Allied. Recklessness. Grade 2, 9k, 5k shield. Also, Vanguard or Rearguard. When placed, cost counterblast 1. Choose a rearguard in your opponent's front row and bind it. Then its second skill is auto rearguard when it attacks a Vanguard. If there are one or less rearguards in your opponent's front row, this unit gets plus 3k until the end of that battle.
Pretty decent card. Massive upgrade from the original.
Yeah.
It gets past things that say this unit cannot be retired by skills. Because it doesn't retire it, it just straight up binds it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's literally just things that have resist.
However, it doesn't function with the old stuff if it says retire bind at any point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But comparatively, the old one was Soul Blast 1. This unit gets 1k. Like,
Oh no, no,
Huge
this card
upgrade.
is really decent for standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
To be
think now
fair-
coming in standard and premium will be very similar. It's going to be basically all the standard stuff with a tiny bit of premium added in. I think that's all Narukami will be.
I mean, it's a 12k swinger, but it won't hit force numbers on its own. It'll have to be boosted, but then that's
Unless
normally
it's on
when
an
it's
Excel
used.
circle.
That is also true. Then it swings for 22.
Yeah. So once again, it's got the same kind of drop down of the grade 2 of the main Vanguard skill. So it's the 3k rather than the 5k, but it has the ability to pause it to give you that boost itself.
Yep.
And then also be an enabler for Great Composure.
Yeah. So far at the moment, I think this is going to be a standard card in Narukami.
Is its first ability is Vanguard Rearguard.
It's basically a mini Berserk Dragon. You just don't draw a card.
Exactly.
So
you don't tell that either.
So far, I
It's gonna
think
be rock and roll.
it's the best out of the 3 that we've done so far. I think it's the best card. For
Wait till
like,
you get to the next one.
yeah, no, but like for its role, grade 1, grade 3, grade 2, grade 1. This is the best card that we've done for Narukami.
It enables a lot of the cards in the clan and has the same kind of skill as those
It
cards
does what the deck's currently meant to be doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we'll leave it there with that one.
Yep.
I think that's the solid 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 card.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be used in pretty much every Narukami build at the moment.
Pretty much. All right.
Yep.
Excess Street Dragons.
I just thought,
Dave.
actually, just stick with Recklessness for a second. I just had to look it up and double check. This actually gets around Promise Daughter.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Huh?
Yeah, I just checked out Promise Daughter because Promise Daughter can't be retired due to opponent's card effects.
It gets around it because it just binds it. It just goes, no, you can't have it.
And to be honest, that's probably why they got rid of it.
Clans and been like, fuck you. Now Narukami is like, no, fuck you.
That's probably
Promise
the
Daughter
reason why
gets
they're
out.
not doing Retire Bind for Narukami anymore. It's to get so it is that anti-Promise Daughter card or that anti you can't retire my shit to try and stop, say, Kaguro.
Yeah.
This is the anti-Kaguro deck.
The anti.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Excessive Street Dragon. Dave, take us through this one.
Well, once it's loaded. Okay, so we've got Excessive Street Dragon, grade 2, 5k shield, 8k power, auto, rear guard only. When placed, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row, bind it. If you bound a rear guard, this unit gets 10k until the end of turn.
I take it back. This is the best one we've done so far.
I mean, it's an 8k grade 2, which isn't great, but on the turn you play it, it's a nice 18 or
And then
20
28 if you put it in an Excel circle.
With the bind.
With a bind.
I want to sit on the other side of the fence here. I don't think this is a good card.
Why is
In
that?
the middle ground, really. It's not fantastic.
Well, firstly, it's only in the front row that it lets you. The previous one we did, Reckless the Dragon, lets you bind any of your opponent's rear guards, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's already more limited there. It's an 8k base, meaning that.
But no, Recklessness is front row.
Okay,
as
no,
well.
it's front row as well.
Is it? Yep.
Less
Yeah.
cards in the front row.
I'll take that
all
back
front row.
then, but still, the fact it's 8k grade 2, that even with that 10k power, it's still going to be a 1-card guard against any rear guard. You think you've got a 9k rear guard there, or knowing V-Series these days, it could be a 10, or hell, even a 12 by the time these decks come out.
What rear guards?
Yeah, he's not going to have any rear guards left.
That's kind of the
To
point.
attack.
Bind your front row rear guards. Okay, what are you going to do? Attack the back row rear guards, which you can't. It's
Well,
3
also,
attacks on Vanguard. You've got no intercepts. And if you want to attack 3 attacks on me, you've got to call more stuff from hand. So you've got to save stuff.
You also have to
Yeah,
remember
still,
now.
I just don't think it's great, to be honest.
If it was a 9k,
If it was a
I'd
9k,
probably give it.
I would be much more impact card. I would definitely think it's a usable card. But because of that 8k base power, no, I'm sorry, I just don't like it.
Fair enough. But we do have to remember that Narukami now are all about moving their positions of the opponent's rear guards back and forward how you like.
They don't just bind front row; they also move front row to pro.
And
So
back row to front row. So you go,
Yeah,
oh look, that nice grade 1 at the back, let me pop it by moving it forward first.
then bind it,
And then retire bind it because I couldn't attack it otherwise.
because like call this, bind your front row, move your rear guard to the front row, and then
Call it
bind
again.
that as well.
Bind.
Down the
Yeah,
bottom,
it just
so-
takes out.
Yeah,
It is also it is also the first Narukami card that I've seen that is also Soul Blast.
Yes.
So
I don't think Narakami's have too much problem with Soul at the moment until we.
one of the
look at
problems I was noticing with, I think, some of the OTT and Mega stuff was it's a lot of soul blasting.
But you maintain
and
on
I-
rewriting grade 3s, so the whole idea of that is your soul's always going to be maintained.
Except it's not necessarily, because you want to be soul blasting the grade 3s for something much, much better. So there's.
I know that, but your soul is going to at least be.
Yeah, it's.
Either way, we've gone back onto OTT there.
Yeah, no, but it's comparatively this. It's a soul blast card, but there doesn't seem to be much soul blast
There's
anywhere
not
else.
a lot of soul charge anywhere outside of Dark Regulars.
True.
Right, so we'll move on to the last card, which is Lizard Soldier Ricky.
Speaking of soul blast,
Hey!
So
I'll
it's
do
a
it,
grade.
Okay.
Oh, okay then. You do it, Luke. It's
I was
fine.
going to say I've only done one so far.
Yeah, Luke, you go first. You do it.
So yeah, grade 1, 8k Vanguard, 8k unit, whatever. 10k shields, and auto on Vanguard or Rearguard circle. When placed Soul Blast 1, this unit gets plus 3k until the end of the turn, and you may swap all of your opponent's Rearguards to the front row and back. All of them change at the same time. Units in the middle column cannot move. So how we were saying just now about Narakami have abilities to play about with the positioning of your opponent's units. Well, this is one of the cards that does exactly
Case
that.
and point.
See, this
It's
I
a great
agree
card.
It's a good card.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
it's a grade 1, so it deserves the 8k power, and it's still got the 10k shield.
Exactly.
It's
Soul
artwork.
Blast isn't great, but you know what? That's fine for this skill. It needs to have that cost that's going to hurt.
Yeah. Let's
And the
about
artwork of this card is beautiful.
playing it right.
Oh,
you
yeah.
shouldn't need to move about their positioning much.
well,
It's if you want to snipe a back row unit that's being really problematic.
it's
Yeah.
it's that, but also if you've only got Thunderstorm Dragoon and Great Composure Dragon and this, and they've got 2 grade 2s, you play this, you push them to the back row, you then call the others down, and oh look, they've got nothing in the front row. You don't
That's the other
need
thing
to
that Narakami
bind
do.
to then clear their front row to
You
Rearguard
can just move
circles.
them back. Just move them back and get them out there. It's like, okay, go to the reserve lines whilst I
Yeah.
punish your Vanguard.
So they now have 2 ways of clearing the front row Rearguard circle.
However, the other thing to remember with this card and these effects in general is obviously that the Axel circles aren't affected by this. If
Yeah.
you're up against an Axel clan, they're not by moving because they are their own column.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. The moving
There
is
is
not,
no other
is
Yeah.
position for them to move
So-
into.
But this is great because what you do is use the bind front row effects to get rid of the Excel circle cards and then switch the grade 1s and grade 2s so they can't intercept.
Yeah,
and you can
or
still
they
get
just
your-
don't have any front row at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If they have no boosters for their grade 2, which the Excel clans generally don't, because they try to throw everything into the Excel circles.
Yeah.
Then they've got an empty back row which you can then fill up with.
And if they've only managed to get 1 XL circle out and you push their front row back, it's if they've got 1 or less Rearguards in the front row, that is 1 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
So this
it ties
card's a
up
5 out of 5.
nicely.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's
it's a general nice card. I like it.
I give it a 4 out of 5. Actually.
Artwork is actually also pretty nice.
Somebody needs to explain how we're grading these later to me because I've no.
Personal
It's a
preference.
card that's always going to be. It's always going to be. It's going to be used in the standard build.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be.
It's a good card. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. It's
Yeah.
a good card.
Anyway.
Cool. Right, clearing these tabs down.
Done with the trial deck. Yeah.
Yeah. Done
So-
control deck.
Yeah, reasonably happy with the Narakami stuff in general. Very happy with the OTT stuff, especially as a Magus player.
Vastly better deck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You buy the two, you pitch them against each other.
OTT is going to win.
Oh, she's gonna win. There's no question about it.
When was the last time you said that? Apart from straight after the reboot. Like,
OTT
When
was
Battle
only-
Sisters got released.
Yeah,
when Battle
Sisters,
Sisters 4 came out.
Soulless OTT back in the day.
Oh god, yeah.
Or when I was facing your dog deck with my Magus.
hey,
Yeah.
Dogs?
The original.
Oh, I
my
remember
dog,
those ones.
OTT has
my
been
dog
really good
stuck
throughout
it to
the years.
OTT.
Yeah, G series OTT.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. More than enough.
Anyway, on to our next topic, which we're going to have to quickly go through this one.
Not necessarily that.
There is a couple of cards we do need about.
Yeah.
A couple of big elephants in the room with relations to VBE03.
Pentagonal Magus.
Yeah, Pentagonal Magus, the fucking clusterfuck nutty card. The thing that has made me happier than anything this week. This has been the one shining thing through this last week. Oh my god, I am in love with this card.
So we're going for Pentagonal first, are we?
Yes. So, continuous on Vanguard Circle, trigger effects revealed by your tribe get plus 5,000 power increase. That's good. That works with what the deck wants to do. Pretty standard for.
You pair that up with hexagonal rearguard.
Yeah, but that's pretty standard for what Magus seem to want to be doing now.
Yeah, it makes all of their triggers a 15k.
Guys, are we reading this right?
What?
Trigger effects revealed by your drive check gets power plus 5,000 for power increase.
No. Right.
So
This one gets plus 5k for your triggers. So a drive check trigger on this becomes a 15k.
Yes.
No,
Hexagonal and rectangle gain 5k. No.
Reading it, the wiki here right now.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like either it's a mistranslation or it is forcing all of your triggers down to 5,000 power.
No.
No, it's not. It's increased. They get power plus.
Oh
5,000.
no. This one. No. For this one, that would make more sense because it gets plus 5,000.
No, yeah,
For
Luke is
this
right.
specific one, it reduces it to 5k.
Oh.
Which is where rectangle and hexagonal come in because they then push them back up to 10ks.
It's sort of a cost for the effect.
Yes.
But it is actually cutting your triggers down to size.
My God, you're right.
Old school.
I'm still really happy though.
There's no ruling section yet. Why? Wiki, you let me down.
So
And
it's either all of your or they all become 15k, and it's reading as 5k.
Trigger effect revealed by your drive check get plus 5k for powering.
Yeah.
I believe that might be a mistranslation.
It's a really dodgy translation.
Okay. If it
would
is,
be stupid for it to make them all a 5k, especially with their own skills giving them more power.
No, because it balances it out.
I think it's second skill.
Yeah, which we'll go on to the second skill.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we carry on with this, so on auto Vanguard Circle, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, or Soul Blast 1 grade 3, and discard 5 cards from your hand. This unit gets drive plus 3 until the end of battle. Discarding cards from your hand from this cost is reduced for each rearguard with Magus in the card name in your front row.
So it's discard 5, discard 4, discard 3. No, 3, 2, or...
Yeah, so you get the discard down to a 2.
Yeah.
No, you
No,
can,
you can't.
each rearguard. So you get the discard down to 2. Get the discard down to 3.
Each rearguard,
So
so
it's-
yes, so down to 3.
So it's a plus 0
I
effect.
didn't realise you can't have Excel.
No.
So, given this second effect of Pentadrive, it would make sense that
No, it's
there
green, isn't it?
no.
No, it isn't. Reading it again, it isn't. It is a plus 5,000 power to the trigger because it would say all your revealed triggers become plus 5,000 power only.
Yeah, true.
It is a plus
Yeah,
5k.
that's
Okay,
what it was.
so
Triggers.
this could be a bad direct translation.
Yeah, I think
I
So-
think it is.
so
we
if we-
can't tell 100% just yet.
No.
So
Until
if
we
it
get a translation.
if it is
But
trigger
it has to
effects,
translate.
yeah, but if I think it's subject to localization.
I think it will be plus 15k on triggers.
Okay,
Why would it be subject to localization?
no, because if it's a direct translation, because they haven't got the English cards yet, and the direct translation's a little iffy.
Necessarily being correct English format
Yeah.
is what it means.
So, like in French, they have the color before the object. Oh no, the object before the color.
Yeah.
Direct translation for a red pencil is pencil red. So when you localize that translation, it becomes a red pencil.
Yeah.
So,
just
subject
whacking
to
away
that, if we take it through, if it is, trigger
This is
effects
why I'm
become.
wondering, is the word gets or
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
that's
it
what I'm
gets
saying.
plus 5,
That's what I'm saying.
okay, then it's
it
15.
would
Should-
say
It's either
If
get or
anything,
become.
If gets became gained, then that would be obvious.
yeah.
But I think it decreasing to 5k for all triggers is reasonable with that it has quintuple drive.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If they go, oh yeah, no, it also makes it so that every trigger you get is 15k and you stacked your deck.
It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a finisher, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was plus 15k
Say that.
for.
The thing is, both are justifiable.
Both are justifiable.
Both
I
are
personally think it's
completely
gonna be the bigger one.
justifiable, especially considering hexagonal Magus. If you want to put a driven trigger on a hexagonal or a rectangle Magus on a rear guard, plus 20k, that's a bit nuts. But equally,
Yes, but I wouldn't put it past them with what they're giving to Oracle at them.
equally,
Yeah.
it makes sense that they would do that because it's pentagonal Magus, it's the finisher. I've always said pentagonal is the finisher, but like it's a proper now you die if you don't have perfect guards for everything.
or just like protect markers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. If you don't have
This
sentinels
literally
for
defines
everything.
as protect icons as the best icon.
So
Agreed.
so either it takes it down of you can in theory get 5 triggers in a row and just crush people, or it reduces it to 5,000 to give everyone else a bit of a chance. Either way,
yeah.
it is a nuts
still a great
card. It
Yeah.
is a
It
freaking
deserves
nuts
the VR
card,
spot.
and it synergizes with everything that they have just given in the trial deck.
And
It
everything
synergizes
before
with
you-
Magus and synergizes with not Magus, because even if you don't play the extra
Yeah.
plus drive, just to give you, if the trigger effect is the plus 5k, just having that on Vanguard and just
Plus,
running
can you
that with like
think of the
Imperial Daughter.
psychological warfare? Ride
Okay.
Pentagonal Magus, Soul
All
Blaster
your numbers
Grade
are now
3,
messed
you are facing 5 drive checks.
with a
Yeah.
potential 15k on each one. So that's
Go on,
15, 30,
buddy,
45, 60,
calculate
plus 75k.
that.
Thank God they
Yeah.
just don't have front.
Oh
triggers.
man, front triggers would be
Plus
disgusting.
75k for
This
front row.
Yeah, anyway,
Pentagonal Magus would be the one legitimate time to use front triggers.
Right, moving on.
We'll just go through 2 more cards quickly.
Well,
I have-
Something else from the VTO3 set.
I mean,
I'll
like
do Magatsu Storm.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
need to find that one.
probably have the most experience with.
Well, I don't have most experience with Nibatama. I have the most experience with Magatsu Storm.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
True.
between the two of us.
Right, so it is a grade 3 twin drive protect. It is a 12k grade 3. So auto Vanguard, when it is attacked by an opponent's Vanguard, cost counterblast 1 and retire 2 of your rear guards. And this unit cannot be hit till the end of that battle. So it just nulls the Vanguard attack, which is fantastic.
PG in a bit.
Well, hey. Oh, look,
Yeah.
I'm a protect clan with more protect. And auto Vanguard once a turn. When your rear guard is returned to your hand during your turn, cost Soul Blast a grade 3, draw a card, call 3 cards from hand to rear guard, and they all get 5k.
Which is
This card is
amazing,
nuts.
really.
It's also another reason why I think that the conversation we just had is leaning towards the 15k triggers, because this is fucking retarded. This is what?
Yeah.
What
The
the
sentence
hell?
sets up, to be able to use, sets up on your turn to be able to use first skill on your opponent's turn.
The fact is, in premium, it's got a defensive ability for the opponent's turn, and you can just strive and get all your bonuses from dominate during your turn. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to attack you with your own units, and then I'm going to null your Vanguard attack with my own skill. I haven't touched my hand.
Because it doesn't say
Yeah.
retire 2 of your rear guards.
Well, it says counterblast
Yeah.
retire 2 rear guards. To
So
your rear guards. So, but no, this card's nutty.
I'm gonna put it out there. This card is up there with whatever that bullcrap deeply stuff you pull is, and Sullivan. Is
Retire
it?
PG, retire guy. Can't hit me. Fuck you.
Yeah, and is it Sullivan
Stops it.
from Blade Wings, which is just give everything 10k extra shield?
Yeah.
I mean,
It
this
is up
good.
there with those two, with how bullshit it is. Bullshit in a
Yeah.
good way, not bullshit as in this effect is crap. Bullshit as in what the hell?
This shouldn't exist type deal. Why did?
I love Sullivan. Sorry.
You know, seeing this and thinking back to all the other defensive vanguards and going, so glad I run Deleter.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
The thing is, like, the fact that Delete is the first Link Joker getting support is kind of justifying both of these coming out, or both of these grade 3s, because it's like, delete your Vanguard, you don't get to have fun. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your nuts
Anyway,
skill.
we're getting
Technical difficulties.
So,
Okay.
final card we want to talk about today. Yes.
Go on, Chris.
It's a VR for Narukami in VBTO3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grade 3, 12,000 power, as you'd expect. Auto Vanguard Circle, once per turn. If this unit attacks a Vanguard, you pay the cost of Counterblast 1, choose a rear guard in your opponent's front row, and bind it. Then, let me just clear my throat a sec. You pay the cost to discard the same number of cards from your hand as the number of opponent's rear guards.
Ziegenberg! Anyway.
And at the end of that battle, stand this unit, it gets +5 powers, +5, and -1 drive.
Literal Ziegenberg.
It is. Narukami just got Ziegenberg.
Yep.
With
grade
front
3.
triggers. Front triggers, boys.
With front triggers, the ability to move back row to front row and then bind the front row.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
This is going Dungaree!
You're gonna put a VR into Dungaree.
Yeah!
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest.
Finisher. It's a finisher.
What strides are supposed to do that, Chris?
I apologise to anyone using headphones, but
Oh, just wait for the blooper reel then. I've announced it, James. You have to do it.
I know. I am down for that.
Anyway,
But,
there's not much
oh
else
man,
to say. We all know how good card. It's a shame Kagero just aren't where they need to be as a clan. But
Yes.
Ziegenberg is fucking phenomenal. And
So, grade
I
3
reckon this
version?
card will be.
oh jeez.
Yeah,
I mean-
like, if anything's going to put Narukami, it's this one card right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact
Well,
is, swing it back, bind a card. Obviously, you're binding a front row, so you're then decreasing the number of cards to discard. Restand, swing it Vanguard again. You know, it's like get another bind because once again you're. Oh no, that's one turn. So ignore me.
Well, potentially, it's
you
also
only get the one bind, but you get the power. 5k, not as good as it could be. It's not full trigger power like it used to be,
No.
but it still makes it a nice 17.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
extra
What we have to do.
power.
think about it. Swing with it. Double twin drive, front trigger, bind something, and because you banned something called Rising Phoenix out, creating perhaps another column, restand with an extra 5k, crit trigger. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And swing with booster for second attack.
potentially.
We have to
it's-
also with this card, we have to discuss the other grade 3 that came in the set with it. That kind of pairs with it.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
They were,
it's,
they were Legion, weren't they originally?
I
no,
don't
they
think
were
so.
just
They were both set
paired
5, I believe.
No.
He
Chris,
says,
you take Demonic Stinger Dragon.
Okay.
I thought we were going to cut it off here.
yeah,
No,
but
this
we
is
have
what-
to talk
we gotta-
about Stinger
This
now.
works really well.
This is the pair that you might want to place in grade. Oh, level with.
Yeah. So basically, you also gain grade 3 twin drive Excel marker, 12k power, Vanguard, also Vanguard rearguard. When counterblast 1, choose a rearguard in your opponent's front row, bind it, and this unit gets plus 5k until end of turn. Auto, when rode upon, call this card to rear circle, and one of your vanguards gets plus 10k until turn.
And that's where the
It's a
power
break
comes.
ride.
Break ride!
It's a
Break
break
ride.
ride.
It's a fucking break ride, and it works so
He moves
well
onto his
with
own
Drill.
Excel circle. He moves onto his own Excel circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
So
counterblast
you want
1,
to play
bind
that.
something again, plus 5k. I'm a
Yeah.
27 Excel circle before front
So
triggers
if-
and crits.
Exactly, and then when you ride on it with Detonate's drill, so then the drill gets plus 10k, so it swings for 27,
Ah.
then restand.
And another Excel
gets plus
circle.
5. Yeah, and that's swinging for fucking. Oh, I want this deck.
I
Want
think
this deck.
they have legitimately taken some of the bottom tier decks and gone, how do we flip the script and make these top tier decks?
The only thing
Yeah.
I've seen
All
are
five
running out counterblasts. I haven't seen much in the way of a countercharge
True.
engine yet.
Excel
And
doesn't.
every single
Excel
one of their
doesn't really-
bind requirements has a counterblast in it, except for like one.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'm
That's
sure we'll see much more of that to come.
There's a simple
They've
fix.
already had about half the deck.
It-
Half the cards for real.
It's a
But
real
anyway,
simple
on
fix.
that
It's
note,
called heal and take more
um,
damage.
Yeah.
On that note, I think we should end it here, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for tuning in. We will be back next week.
Really? Are you
whoa.
really
We're going
in
to
the
try
video
and-
putting
Deliver
us
on.
down to a week timetable?
We're going to try and make this a weekly thing.
It took us 2 months to get here.
More than.
I thought we weren't going to do this shit,
We
guys.
recorded the first podcast in August, Luke. That's not even been released.
Yeah, but to be fair, Chris, okay, that time,
You know
now
what?
you've mentioned
Fuck
it, you have to finish it.
Peace.
Oh, I'm finishing it. I'm working on
I
it.
know. The thing is,
Some point.
he goes peace, which means he's out, which means he doesn't get to talk anymore while we still let the recording run.
Yeah,
We can keep going.
No, I don't want to play some betrayal already.
So we will obviously, well, Luke said we'll try and come back next week. I severely doubt we'll be back next week, but we will be back soon.
Yeah, depends
Um,
when this video goes up.
I say
As
let's
to
promise
when
to
that-
make start with and aim for weekly.
Yes.
did you
And
say?
also aim
Well,
for a
you
more...
say month, but this time next month is going to be Christmas.
Well, I will have a lot more free time.
So will I.
Yeah.
I'll have finished all my stuff. I'll have finished all my stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
So it will land in an absolute shitstorm of work in there.
It's our little
So-
present from us to them. And with that, see you later, YouTube.
This content was later uploaded to Twitch.